We're living through this incredible digital revolution, right? One that promises a world of just endless possibilities. But what if I told you that behind the clean, slick interface of artificial intelligence, there's a hidden cost, a physical, resource-hungry reality that we're only now just beginning to understand?
What if every single time you ask it to generate an image or, help you write an email or even just ask a simple question,
You are unknowingly chipping away at our planet's health? The truth is, you just might be. So let's pull back the curtain and uncover the real environmental price tag of our new digital habits. Okay, so let's start by looking behind that digital curtain. You see, the cloud isn't really some fluffy, abstract thing up in the sky. Nope, it's very real. It lives right here on the ground inside these massive, warehouse-sized buildings we call data centers. These are the humming, whirring factories that power our entire digital world. And these factories, they're getting more and more powerful and much, much hungrier. Get this, a simple Google search uses about zero point 0.3 watt-hours of electricity, but a single ChatGPT query? Whoa, that number jumps to nearly 10 times as much. And honestly, this is just the beginning. This quote just nails the eerie, relentless vibe of these places. They really are the 24/7 factories of our time, just constantly consuming resources with this voracious, almost inhuman appetite, all while being hidden away from public view. And just like any factory, these data centers have this insatiable appetite for raw materials. For AI, the two most critical things are electricity to run the machines and just unbelievable amounts of water to keep them from literally melting. The scale of this consumption, it's just staggering. So check this out. A single large data center can drink up to 5 million gallons of water every single day. Now, to put that into perspective for you, the daily water needs of one of these invisible factories can equal that of an entire town. This puts this immense, almost unbearable strain on local water supplies, especially in places that are already fighting droughts. All right, now let's talk power, electricity. Just to train an older model, GPT-3, we're not even talking about the newest stuff, is estimated to have guzzled over 1,287 megawatt hours. I mean, that's over 1 million kilowatt hours, the unit you see on your home electricity bill. It's a massive number. That's enough juice to power 120 US homes for an entire year. And remember, that was for an older, less powerful model. Today's AI is way, way more power hungry. Now, let's see how this all adds up in our daily lives. So look at that bar on the left. That's your simple Google search. Pretty small. Now, compare that to just a short query to GPT-4o. It's already a bit more intensive, right? But what about a typical daily session? Maybe just 8 medium-length questions. Boom. The energy use just skyrockets. It adds up, and man, does it add up fast. All this massive consumption of water and power, it doesn't just, vanish into thin air. It leaves a deep physical scar on our planet, from insane carbon emissions to a whole cocktail of other pollutants. Just take a look at the estimated yearly impact of a single model GPT-4o. We're talking about a carbon footprint that's like putting 30,000 more gas-guzzling cars on the road, or flying across the Atlantic 272 times. To soak up that much carbon, you would literally need a forest the size of Chicago. And the scary part is, the demand is just exploding. In 2023, data centers used over 4% of all US electricity. By 2028, that could triple. And some projections suggest that by 2035, these facilities could be responsible for almost a fifth of the entire world's electricity use. I mean, what happens to our planet when one single industry demands that much power? And it's not just about energy and water. The physical guts of AI are like a Pandora's box of hazards. We're talking about toxic forever chemicals and cooling systems that can cause cancer. We're talking about diesel exhaust from backup generators polluting the air, triggering asthma. Then you've got the constant risk of battery fires, mountains of e-waste from old hardware, and this relentless industrial hum that completely shatters the peace for nearby communities. Look, this isn't just some abstract environmental issue happening far away. As these data centers keep expanding, they're coming into direct conflict with the people and the communities they're built in. There is a very, very real human cost. As this community supporter put it so well, these facilities aren't just quiet warehouses. They are massive industrial operations that can totally change the places they move into, and often it's for the worse. And here are the real-world consequences. In Virginia, you have people complaining about a constant low-frequency noise that literally shakes their homes and ruins their sleep. In Ohio, just 2 Amazon data centers had the fire department called out 84 times in a single year. And in Chile, an entire community fought back against a Google facility because they were terrified it would drain their already scarce groundwater.
And you know what makes all this even more messed up? The total lack of transparency. These big tech companies often use these super restrictive non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, to hide the true water and energy numbers from the very people who are forced to live with the consequences. So, with all these enormous problems, what can we actually do? Is it even possible to balance this incredible tech boom with the health of our planet? Well, there are some potential paths forward.
So what's the plan? First, we have to get way smarter with our resources. That means using circular water practices, like they're doing in Washington and Georgia, where data centers use treated wastewater for cooling instead of precious fresh water. Second, we can build better, more energy-efficient hardware, specialized AI chips that get more done with less power. And third, and this is maybe the most important, we need strong, proactive policies that demand transparency and set real limits on how much of our planet's resources this industry can just consume. But all these solutions really bring us to a fundamental conflict, a choice that we, as a society, have to make. We are standing at a crossroads between the unchecked exponential growth of artificial intelligence and the finite resources we all need to survive. And this brings us to the final and I think the most important question. If we know this technology comes at such a high cost to our environment and to people's lives, do we have a responsibility to slow it down, to set some real limits? This is a huge debate that we absolutely have to have, and we need to have it right now. So what do you think? Is the price of all this progress worth the cost to our planet? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you want to keep exploring these critical questions that are shaping our future, make sure you subscribe to FutureShock.